teach you a few things. If we bring the camera over to me. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Sounded like Bob Brooks.
Yes, she did. It was funny how that worked.
Yep.
Going to teach you some things about the Arctic Circle right now. Let's take a step back from the politics for a moment and take a look at what might be fueling President Trump's increased interest with the world's largest island, from rare earth minerals and national security. They've all been cited as reasons, but it could actually boil down to something much simpler. That is the economics of melting sea ice, okay? This is a real thing. Now, since the dawn of the modern maritime transport ships, they've had to take longer routes between Asia and Western Europe to make trade happen in between the two continents there. The northern routes, though, through the Arctic, only passable during warmer months. But according to government data, several primary routes throughout the Arctic are set to become more available in the coming decades as we have melting sea ice. It's just a thing. So first up, I want to show you the Northwestern Passage, or NWP. You can see right there in the green. Never mind, in the red, excuse me, got switched up on me. That's the first one we're going to talk about here. They're saying it could potentially become navigable up to 6 months per year and potentially year-round by the year 2100. So maybe not in our lifetime, but it's going to happen. And then you also have the Northern Sea Route, or the NSR. Okay, this one over here we got in the light blue. Shipping already has increased here. Russia currently aiming to increase cargo through that route by more than 100 million tons by utilizing icebreaker fleets. And this route could potentially be open up for maybe 10 months a year in the future. Okay, so you're going to cut it all down, cut the shipping lanes down. And then there's also the Transpolar Sea Route, or the TSR, right in the middle there. This is the quickest way to get through the North Pole, offering the shortest and most economical path. It would shave about 10 days off the current trade route from China to Europe. It could save up to 50% in shipping costs compared to the current routes. All right, slash prices in half. That's a pretty big deal, pretty ideal for shipping. So as you can see, national security, oil, minerals, only a part of the president's rationale in wanting to acquire Greenland. We know President Trump, he likes to use the economic leverage in order to shape global politics, and controlling the world's most treasured shipping lanes in the decades to come appears to be the most effective way to do just that. Okay, Katrina, I bet you a lot of people out there didn't know that the Arctic routes were going to become viable here.
I know. Bob learns something new every day. Thanks to you. Okay. All right, Bob Brooks. And for more on this, let's bring in the president of Strollmark LLC, Hilary Fordwich, who has extensive knowledge on international business strategies and dynamic global marketplaces, along with former Trump National Security Chief of Staff and former CIA analyst Fred Fleitz. Fred, I'm going to start with you here. Just give us broad strokes, your overview of Greenland, what is happening now and what should happen next.
Well, Trump's been stating the obvious for some time, that Denmark just isn't capable of developing or supporting this territory. I think everyone has been aware of that, but the Europeans didn't want to do anything about it. And the problem we have right now is that the Europeans have been ignoring and belittling Trump's demands to have this fixed, which led to this blow up of tariffs. This is Europe's fault. Trump was willing to negotiate. I'm hoping that we're going to see over the next couple of days, people step back, they lower the tariff talk, and we start serious negotiations to change this territory status. It is a global and U.S. national security issue, and the Europeans have to start taking it seriously.
Hilary, your thoughts on all this? And also, you know, those trade routes opening up, as I showed you, makes the world a lot smaller, do business a lot cheaper, could pass those costs on, and we know President Trump likes that.
Yes, you're absolutely correct, Bob. And so is Fred. Of course, they're trade routes, but also that poses great threats to national security. What I would say, particularly with regard to NATO, NATO has really been the US. We have subsidized and we have protected the Europeans. And as my point has always been, Bob, could you imagine even saying to the British taxpayer, the Norwegian taxpayer, the Swedish taxpayer, the Danish taxpayer, the German taxpayer, oh, by the way, we want you to spend 2% of 3% of your GDP defending the US southern border. They'd all be like, what? Meanwhile, you, Bob, Katrina, and every viewer who pays taxes, we've been subsidizing all of Europe's security. They have failed to protect Greenland. They have failed to invest where they should have done. We have been NATO. President Trump is absolutely right. This is the time now, because Russia has been encroaching, China has been encroaching, and as you so aptly said, with the snow melting, with the ice cap melting, this is a national security issue. If they were going to do it, they should have done it a long time ago.
Fred, but is it worth it with everything else going on right now? Greenland and Denmark, they've been like, listen, build more bases here. We'll help you any way you want. Do we need to own them in order to accomplish what President Trump wants, which, to his point, is national security? Or even if he wants rare earth minerals, they're like, sure, fine, mine for them.
Well, actually,
my friend Carla Sands, former ambassador to Denmark, has been talking about this, and she's told me that the Danes have put bureaucratic obstacles on our use of Greenland. We don't know that they'll support all the hardware we want to put up there as part of Golden Dome. And so it really goes beyond Denmark's inability to support the territory. They've become an obstacle too. So I think these things can be negotiated if we start serious talks, and I think the Europeans will be in a mood to do so right now.
All right, got to leave it there. We shall see.